that there had been no serious damage to his eyes, but that could be because the infection could play a serious effect on the eyesight. A month later, the boy became a healthy and playful creature. The people from Wildlife Aid save both wild animals and those who live in towns. This time, someone brought to their place a pigeon in some sticky substance. First, they thought it was tar, but it later turned out to be glue or flypaper, in which the bird got into by accident. Pigeons, like all birds, have very delicate feathers, and the vet team had to spend a lot of time cleaning them from the substance. After this difficult work, the specialists were checking several days whether all the feathers were undamaged and if the pigeon could fly. And luckily, it could. This very interesting situation took place near the London Gateway port. Several dolphins had got in trouble, and the team of rescuers were trying to save them. The poor animals got stuck in the shallow waters and couldn't swim away. The people took the poor creatures out of the mud, put them onto the quarter boats, and brought them to a deeper place. When the people got dolphins to the deep water, the animals spent there for around an hour and a half and didn't move. The rescuers were about to give up when one of the creatures perked up and swam off, and then the next one followed. People found an owl tangled up in some string in one of the Alabama towns. The men were trying to help the poor thing, working with covers for the owl's safety, and the people's too. The bird was very nervous, and the rescuers had to work with very great care. It took them some time, but they managed to cut the owl free. When the difficult job was over, the owl couldn't make out what was going on there. Looking at the people attentively, it didn't go away for a rather long time. Fishing sometimes becomes a great problem for the animals that live near water bodies. The fishing strings tear sometimes and are left in the water. This bird got tangled in them and couldn't get released by itself. People who were having a good time near the lake wanted to save the helpless bird. Firstly, they gave her some food, as she was obviously really hungry. After that, the man managed to grab the bird by the neck and started to cut off the strings. It was very important not to hurt the little friend. Then on the shore, the rescuer was trying for some time to release the birdie from the hook. The hook damaged the skin of the bird greatly. At last, it was removed. Though the bird was pretty scared and had some wounds, it felt not too bad. It came to the water, sprang its wings, and jumped into the lake.
Hey, he's right out there. You see him?
Oh yeah. How did it go so?
These heroes asked other fishermen to be more attentive and not to leave hooks and strings in the water. The rescuers came to save a Russell's viper snake that had been found in the village not far from Ahmednagar in Maharashtra region of India. Dealing with such a dangerous venomous creature is a rather difficult skill. The specialists saw the snake having a rest among the green plants in the garden. Using special equipment, the rescuer put the viper in a sack and took it to the wild, far from people's areas. The snake was a bit frustrated and didn't understand what to do. Then the rescuer took her and brought her to the forest. Here is one more creature that suffered during tall volcano eruption. The girl walking through the territories covered with ash in the search of animals that needed help. She found a scared bird sitting on the branch. The bird was very frightened and fell down into the ash trying to escape. But it was obvious that the poor little thing needed to be checked and fed. The girl brought it to the place where other birds were having a good rest and food. The rescuer hopes to help as much animals as possible. Miami-Dade fire rescue personnel rescued a wild animal, looking like a coyote, in the port of Miami. 2 boats came closer to the creature, drowning in the water. The creature couldn't understand they were giving some help and was helplessly trying to swim away. It took a rather long time for rescuers to catch it, but they did. The coyote was taken out of the water and was transported to the shore. That's all for now, and I hope you like this video and want to support those who help animals with your subscriptions, likes, and maybe donations. But animals not only have bad times, they also have great times. Let's watch the video Funniest Animals, Awesome Cute Cats and Dogs on Animal Like People channel. You're sure to have a lot of fun. See you! Hi there. I'm really happy here to show you again several cases of human kindness and wish to help animals in difficult, sometimes tragic situations. Because I'm sure that the more you see other people doing this, the stronger your willingness to behave like that will be. Hope you'll enjoy the video as I enjoy my work with it. Let's go! When the rescuers from Animal Aid Unlimited India found this dog, it looked like a really old one. The poor creature suffered terribly from advanced mange. It made her have intense itchiness and crusted skin, which broke apart in massive cracks as a result. The people took her to the hospital, where the specialists started to give her a course of mange therapy that was sure to take several days. In spite of being frightened, she ate well and took medicine baths and therapy with patience. And when she got well, she became the happiest and the most cheerful dog in the hospital at that time. Now she really is well. This little guy, Pascal by name, was born with a severe form of orthopedic disease and liver problems. Doctors didn't know if he could survive or not, but they did their best to help him. It took several months of intensive treatment to cure the tiny dog. He felt much better, spending a lot of time in a good foster home and playing with his 85-pound foster sister. Now he lives in a loving family, and he's really happy about that. This time, the good people from Hope for Paws Project got a call about a scared and injured dog. He was wandering about the territory of a parking lot and the nearest country yard of a middle school. As usual, the rescuers tried to gain the dog's trust by feeding him, and he took the food with some hesitation. But they didn't manage to catch him with a snare. So, they put up a case trap with food in it. The dog was too light to make the trap mechanism work. But at last, the rescuers could catch him. The dog had a good bath, medical tests, cure, and a lot of food in the shelter. Then he was waiting for his new home, and I really hope he got one. People from Village Regional Channel tell about village life in India. This time, they tell about rescue operation for the cat that got in trouble. The poor cutie fell into a 40-foot well. The rescuers decided to use a very long stick to let the boy get out, but it didn't help. Then they tried a long rope with a loop, but the mission failed again. Next time, the rescuers took the bucket and put it down into the well. The silly animal didn't understand that the people want to help. At last, they managed to take the cat out by the rope, dragging as fast as possible. The scared cat was really aggressive and didn't let the people come close to take the rope from her neck. When everything was over, the poor thing ran away at full speed. This elephant got into a muddy trap in a pond somewhere in Cambodia. Cambodian authorities and local villagers did all that they could to rescue the unhappy animal. They made the steep shore of the pond flatter to let the poor creature get out by itself. While they were working, they were watering the elephant because they didn't want him to dehydrate. Though the elephant was weak, he did his best to get out. Victor Larkhill channel does great work to rescue animals that suffer. Now his team is saving a dog, Lily by name. Lily spent days lost in the fields, running not far from the road. She didn't let people approach her, as she was too terrified. She got lost during the flood. When the rescuers caught her, she went under the seat in the car, and they couldn't get her out. The people took her to the hospital. Physically, the dog was okay, but her psyche was in terrible condition. She spent some time in the hospital, but then stayed with the team in the shelter. Step by step, Lily calmed down and loved the people around. She was with her rescuers until she was adopted. Someone called the Mega Baddie Project to tell them about a little flying fox hanging on the wall. He was just hanging there helplessly in the rain, cold and wet. The woman took him off the wall, put him in the warm blanket, dried him a bit, and gave him some glucose. She checked his wings and body and came to the conclusion that they were okay. The rescuer took him home. There, he spent a night in the incubator getting warm, and in the morning, he was much better. 48 hours later, the little creature moved to a caretaker to be with other juveniles his age. There, he spent some time in the release aviary to get ready for coming back to the wild. People from Rescue Kitten channel help different animals in critical situations. This blind kitten was found in house debris. He couldn't see because of terrible purulent substance that covered his eyes. The rescuers took the baby to the shelter, where he had a month-long treatment.
It turned out